The train to Abashiri takes 6 days. Yoshi rides in a cage designed for transporting bears, surrounded by 8 guards who take shifts watching him. One guard, Private Ito, is 17 years old. The boy never forgets this. 40 years later, as a prison reform advocate, Ito will credit this moment with changing his life. But that's the future. Right now, Yoshi is entering hell. Abashiri prison exists where the Sea of Okhotsk meets the mountain wilderness, a location chosen specifically because even if you escape, nature kills you within hours. The walls are 18 feet high, made from Hokkaido granite. Guard towers every 30 yards, dogs trained to track in blizzards. Yoshi's new cell has one additional feature. Every surface is coated in whale oil that never freezes, making it impossible to grip even with fingernails. Warden Yamashita personally inspects the cell, running his hand along every inch. Winter arrives in October. Ice forms inside the cell. Yoshi's breath crystallizes and falls like snow. The guards give him no blanket until December, which is the standard procedure for escape risks. His body starts eating itself to survive. But cold does something interesting to metal. It makes it contract. The food slot in Yoshi's door, a rectangle of steel 4 inches by 12 inches, shrinks by exactly 3 millimeters in extreme cold. 3 millimeters is nothing. Unless you've spent 6 months dislocating your joints every night, training your body to compress in ways that would make contortionists vomit. Unless you've studied how the traditional Japanese art of bone folding, used by ninja to hide in impossibly small spaces, actually works. Yoshi begins with his shoulders. The pain would knock most men unconscious. But Yoshi learned to dislocate joints at age 15 when debt collectors broke his arms, and he had to reset them himself. Next, his collarbones. He presses them down and in until they overlap behind his sternum. His ribcage is harder. Using the wall, he compresses his chest cavity until his lungs can barely hold air. Spine curved to an impossible angle. Hips rotated until ligaments scream. On November 3rd, 1944, the temperature hits -31 Fahrenheit. The food slot has contracted its maximum. Yoshi has fasted for 5 days to shrink his stomach. He's ready. He introduces the head first through the slot and the shoulders next, bones grinding against steel. The slot is so tight that exhaling is the only way to advance another inch. It takes 20 minutes of this torture. Then, something tears in his hip socket, a sound like ripping canvas. He's through. He drops to the corridor floor, a grotesque collection of dislocated bones and torn muscle. Resetting his shoulders takes 4 attempts and walking is impossible. He crawls. The corridor guard, Private Suzuki, is smoking in the bathroom. A dereliction that will cost him his career. Yoshi reaches the fence as dawn approaches. The miso soup he'd been saving for weeks, now frozen solid, becomes his tool. He heats it with friction, rubbing it between his palms until it liquefies. Poured on the fence bolts in -30 weather, it expands the metal just enough, making the bolt crack and opening the fence. Yoshi crawls into the Hokkaido wilderness wearing prisoner rags, leaving a blood trail in fresh snow. Why didn't the dogs track him? And what made seasoned guards overlook a blood trail in white snow?